What's going on, everybody? Mike McIntyre here from All Things Sports, bringing you a brand new review, and today we are about to review these. Sorry. I mean these. Yeah, these ones. What's going on, everybody? Mike McIntyre here from All Things Sports. Thanks for stopping by as always. Before we begin, you know the drill. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications to be sure that you don't miss out on any brand new videos. And now we're going to get into the review of these brand new Predators I'm super pumped about. The brand new Adidas Predator Edge.1. So before we begin, let's get into the unboxing. Obviously, we have a traditional Adidas box here. It's the 0.1 version, so nothing fancy. Flip open the lid. Let's take the boots out. We have one, there are no extras, and of course two. There we have it. The brand new Adidas Predator Edge.1. And I've been waiting for these to drop on Adidas' official website so I can grab them to do a review for you guys. So I'm super pumped that they're here. And the day I got them, that brand new Champions League pack came out. The colorways on those look really good. I'm a fan of these, and it is something that we've seen before. So just like I showed you at the beginning of the video, are these. I have the original, I was going to say brand new, the original Adidas Lethal Zone, the Predator Lethal Zone that came out in 2012. This was a big boot because at the time, everything up until this point was kangaroo leather. And Adidas had made the move to go to this hybrid touch material, which in all honesty was epic. It was really good. It was a very nice material that combined the benefits of leather while also giving you the benefits of synthetic. And then they had the concept of just giving you all kinds of grip throughout the upper. So you had your drive zone, your first touch zone, dribble zone. I forget what they called this one. And then you had the memory pod insert here on the instep. So you had all these different zones on it, the 5 lethal zones. And so sure enough, again, here we are 10 years later, and the Predator Edge brings back that same concept. So yes, there's a little bit different design to the collar. We'll talk about that. We still have a prime knit upper, so it is a knitted base, but they've completely covered the upper now with these zone skins, as they call it. I prefer the lethal zones, honestly, if they were to give it that name. Obviously, they're not going to do that for branding purposes, but you have basically the same idea. You have all these rubber elements making up the entire area of the upper, similar to what we saw on the Predator Mutator, and they dialed it back almost a little bit for the Predator Freak. But we've got this more traditional, I suppose, rubber element, and it just, the shape of it is a little bit more standard, if you will. Last year's fins and the year before that, the fins on it, those little spikes were a little bit unique. This time we have these lines throughout, so it's a little bit more common, I suppose, but very aggressive. And because there's so much to it, I would argue that there's probably more grip on this model compared to even the Freak or the Mutator. So that is the upper. It is prime knit based. They've done a good job in fixing the collar. That was my biggest critique with last year's model, especially on the Plus. The heel came up way too high. They didn't need to do that. Just bring it down, and they've done an excellent job this year. The 0.1 and the Plus has the exact same collar, so they've done a really good job in just eliminating all that excess material that wasn't needed, while still keeping that two-piece design, if you will, where the fold is, so it fits nicely around the ankle bone. And I actually like this little cutaway that they've done on the top. You can see it right there. That little V works really well. I would argue that this collar is perhaps one of the most natural fitting collars of any collar on any football boot up until this point. And then, of course, we have the new facet frame, they call it. It's basically the same thing, but the stud pattern has just been tweaked, or the stud shape has been tweaked ever so slightly. So it's very similar to what we know from Adidas' internal heel counter. 4 studs in the heel, 3 on both the lateral and medial sides, 1 pivot stud in the middle. And then you have this little weighted element here, which is very gimmicky. In the past, Predators have put a legit weight in the forefoot here so that when you struck the ball, the boot wouldn't bend back on you. I don't think that's necessarily needed because it's relatively stiff in this direction, but still flexible going this way. I'm a little bit critical of these studs. I really don't like the shape of them. Yes, they are triangular, and I was such a fan of this one, and these are triangular, but they're even. They're equilateral triangles where all the edges are the exact same length. With this one, you have funny points to it and funny shapes, and each stud is in a different direction. So yes, there are triangles on it, but the triangle is orientated in a different way depending on where the stud is, and some sides are longer than others, some studs are a little bit bigger than others, and that is my 2 cents on the sole plate. But other than that, it's a great sole plate, plenty of traction. It's just a little bit too aggressive and it's not as forgiving when you pivot. So that's pretty much it. I've gone over pretty much everything. I mean, the colorway is a throwback, right? We're going back to the original Predator Lethal Zone. I think they probably should have kept the white stripes. I think that would have looked better actually if these 3 stripes at the back would have been in white, just like the original. Let's head on over to the turf. We'll try these things on and we'll talk about fit and feel. So guys, trying the Predator Edge on feet for the very first time, I am very pleased to say that they are wider than last year's model. So for someone that's been a fan of Predators for my entire life, this is such a nice thing to see. The fit on these is really, really good. They fit my wide feet excellently. I like that the laces fit quite naturally. The collar is a massive improvement compared to last year's, to the point where in the past I would always avoid mid-cut boots. With this one, I really don't think you're gonna have a problem. I don't notice any kind of discomfort anywhere. It fits extremely naturally and it just fits really, really well. So the collar has an absolute 2 thumbs up in my book. The upper is a little bit rigid from right out of the box like I mentioned at the desk, but with time I do suspect that it's gonna flex and soften up a little bit. The elements are, you know, helping in that sort of rigidness of the upper, just because they do cover so much of the upper and they take away from that little bit of flexibility. And the other thing with this boot is when even you can see it on feet, the boot has a natural shape to it. It holds its shape quite well, which is arguably a good thing. It's just that it'll take a little bit longer to break in my opinion, which is a little bit more uncommon nowadays. So as far as fit goes, I would strongly suggest going true to size. Adidas always nails their sizing. They're bang on with this. Wide feet, you can go back to the Predator with confidence. They do fit my wide feet really, really well. So that is such a good thing to see. And overall, I'm a massive fan of this Predator. I think they've done a really, really good job bringing back some DNA of the Predator. Some classic DNA is back on this thing. Yes, we've given up a little bit of that super lightweightness of the Predators in the last couple years, but you get these strong elements, super, super nice shape to it, good for wide feet. The collar is very, very good if you're interested in that collar, which a lot of boots do have nowadays. So this is a very, very good boot. So let's send it back to the desk and we'll wrap the video up. So there you have it, guys. There's my review of the brand new Predator Edge.1 on feet. This is a very good boot. I'm a massive fan. They've absolutely nailed the collar. I'm so happy to see that the boot has some width back into it so my wide feet can fit into it. We have these classic Predator elements that just add a ton of grip to the overall experience, and they just give you some sort of confidence when on the ball, so I'm a fan of that. The only nitpick I have with it is the stud pattern, and that the upper is not the softest from right out of the box, but again, I think with time, it's gonna soften up. There we have it, guys. There's my review of the brand new Predator Edge. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay tuned because we're gonna check out the Plus, we're gonna do a comparison, and I'm gonna get the .1. So stay tuned to the channel. Mike McIntyre, All Things Sports, sign off for now. Take care, and peace.